You know that children are full of energy and very active. But if we want to use this energy in a proper way, in the right way, what should we do? I think that the best way for using this energy is playing. Playing is a proper and efficient way for children, and at the same time is an efficient way for education of them and raising them. So maybe there are purposes and aims that if you send children to school or to different classes, these purposes and these aims will not be reached. But easily you can reach them through playings and through some games. For transmission of some contents and messages, also we need some ways and means, and the best way and means is playing. Of course, all the things that we ordinarily name them play, they are not actually play. Therefore, we need first to define what playing is. Hello, welcome to channel Lovely Life. This is Mahmoud Karimi, sharing his knowledge and experience concerning education with you. In this video, I'd like to define what play is. When we are talking about play, we should know that play or playing has 4 features. The first feature of play is that a true play should be purposeful. So there should be a purpose and goal for each play. The second feature is that play usually done individually or collectively, by individuals or in the groups. And the third feature is that playing can be done physically or mentally, or we may have some physical plays and some mental plays. Physical plays and physical activities, in fact, are very important in raising children. Now there are certain kindergartens or preschools that are in the open space, okay? There is no roof, there is no real classroom, and children can easily move up and down, they can climb the tree, and so on. So this is the third feature of each play. And the fourth feature is that children, when play, they should enjoy it. So every play should be enjoyable, should satisfy the children. So in this definition, we pointed to 4 qualities or 4 features. It means that if we want to assess, if we want to judge whether certain thing is a play or not, we should consider these 4 features and 4 qualities. For example, sometimes parents tell their child, run and fetch a spoon. The child says, I don't like it. So parents say, this is a good thing. It is physical activity. At the same time, it is purposeful. It is done by an individual and also uses up the energy of child. So it's good. It's a play. But actually, this is not considered play. Why? Because the 4th feature is not available. The 4th feature is that the child should enjoy it, that the child should be satisfied with it. But here, the child feels certain kind of forced labor and forced work. Therefore, the positive results and the strong points that we expect a play have are lacking here. Another example, a child is jumping up and down a chair. So this is a physical activity. At the same time, it is done by an individual and it is enjoyable for the child. But is it a play? No. Why? Because it is not purposeful. There is no aim and purpose behind it. And at the same time, it may be harmful to the child. The child may be injured in this way. And a third example, there is a child hitting or punching his parents. So it is a physical activity, it is individual, and it is enjoyable. But it is not considered a true play because this kind of thing is injuring and bothering and disturbing. So it is not considered a play. But if we have a true play would have a significant role in comprehensive education and raising of children. What do we mean by comprehensive education or comprehensive raising of children? In fact, when we are talking about comprehensive education, we mean there are two things. Two things should be available here. The first thing is that it should have a kind of foundation and infrastructure. And the second point is that a comprehensive education should involve practical and tangible results, not just some foundations and theoretical principles. For example, if you ask hundreds of people who are present in an auditorium, is lying good or bad? Is it good or evil? Okay, they would definitely say it is bad. But when you go to their practical life, many of them would tell lies. So what happens if everybody knows that lying is bad, and when you ask them whether it is good or evil, they say no, definitely it is evil. But in their practical life, in their real life, they are telling lies. So what is the reason here? The reason is that the problem refers to the foundations. The problem refers to the infrastructures. What foundations? Educational and moral foundations. For example, if a child lies, maybe the foundation is fear. The child is not grown up in a way that he feels brave enough to tell the truth. He is afraid to tell the truth, therefore he lies. So the foundation, the real cause here is fear. Another factor or another cause can be some personal interests, personal wishes. And therefore, because of these personal interests and wishes, one is ready to tell a lie because he does not have a strong will for avoiding lies and for telling the truth. These are, in fact, infrastructures or foundations for education. But in the process of education, usually we do not deal with these foundations deeply and truly. We mostly deal with something which has some practical result, and they are something that we can judge them. They are just something on the surface, and they are not deep and foundational. Sometimes our kindness to children is a kind that harms their education, that harms their future, that harms their raising, okay? We feel that we are very kind to them, but in fact, we are being unjust to them. We are being unkind to them. A mother that provides every kind of comfort for the child, she feels that she is very kind to her child. But actually, this kind of thing would make the child or would make the will of the child weak. This child cannot resist against problems, against difficulties in his life. If everything is available for the child and always he feels comfortable in his childhood, when he is grown up, he cannot manage his life. and it is not easy to manage his life. So as soon as a child is thirsty, you give him water. You say, okay, this is present for you, this is ready for you. This thing would make the will of the child weak. And when we are talking about will, we mean that there is a demand, but we intentionally do not satisfy this demand because we want to train the child. We want to raise the child in a good way. And on purpose, we are not satisfying his desire. For example, if a child is in a car with his parents and they are on the way home, the child says, I'm thirsty. Father says, okay, wait 10 minutes, we would reach home and there you can have water. Now, mother says, oh no, you should stop and buy water because my child would die if he doesn't drink water. This mother thinks that she is the kindest mother of the world, but actually she is unkind to the child here because she doesn't allow this child to experience even the smallest kind of tolerance. And this is harmful to the child. In fact, this mother has a hidden injustice to the child. She is hiddenly doing something bad, doing some evil to the child. So if 10 minutes or 20 minutes, this child waits and then drinks water, he would not be sick, he would not die, nothing happens. But a good thing happens. He learns that after some kind of hardness or distress, there would be some good things. And he or she can tolerate it. He or she can be brave enough to tolerate it. Now, maybe we can say that the older generation had physical plays and physical activities more than the younger generation. In fact, the children of the older generation had many physical activities, but the children of the new generation and the younger generation just have few of these physical activities. At the same time, the older generation had stronger wills. They could manage their life much better. And today's children have weak wills and cannot manage their life easily. Okay, now, when a child goes to play, just mother gives him or gives her a bottle of water. Okay, after 5 minutes, maybe my child is thirsty, he or she should have water. And we think that this is good for the child. This is good for education, but actually it is not good. Therefore, when we are talking about plays, we mean that playing is indirect education. And the influence and the result of indirect education is much more than the direct education. In fact, plays are considered an ocean for building some foundation and infrastructures for education. As a result, a comprehensive education must have two features or two qualities. The first feature is that a comprehensive education should have an infrastructure, should have some foundations. For example, a strong will, high tolerance, and also a comprehensive education should have some practical and tangible result and tangible influence. For example, children who do not practically lie, children who practically tell the truth. So this is a practical and tangible result of education. Infrastructures or educational infrastructures of playing. What are the educational infrastructures in plays? The first infrastructure here is self-confidence. It means a true play should give self-confidence to the child, should increase feeling of self-confidence in the child. The second one, or the second infrastructure for playing, is that a good play should strengthen the will of children. And the third one, it should give children bravery, should increase the bravery of children. If a child is playing, this kind of playing should make the child dare to do risky things. He should not be afraid of risky things. This is also very important, because usually parents are worried and concerned about the health of their children. They say, oh, my child is playing, maybe he is damaged on faith, he is damaged on leg, he is damaged in hand, and therefore they are actively controlling the child in this way. This is not good. They do not allow the child to play in cold weather, in hot weather, and therefore this extreme immunity, this extreme, we may say, pasteurization of the child would be quite harmful to the child and to the future of the child. How such a child wants to manage his life in future? Such a child, how can he live in future in the society, among other people, among people who may have different opinions, among people who may have different demands? That would be difficult or very difficult for him. But we sometimes train our children and raise our children in a way that they are grown up and they are timid children, they are shy children. Fear is not a genetic quality. Okay, this is something bad, but it comes from the environment. It is something that is acquired and learned from the environment. It is not genetic. The child will learn it in the family, in the street, in the society, and then when he is grown up also, he is afraid of presenting himself. He is always afraid of the things he confronts with. So when father is afraid of mouse and mother is afraid of cockroach, what happens to this child? The child would be afraid of mosquitoes. And this is the natural result of this kind of education. The fourth feature is that this kind of education or infrastructures should be influential. It means that children should be raised in a way that they influence other people and other children, not just affected and influenced by others. And this is also a very significant quality. Sometimes children go to the party, but they are always looking at one who is on their right or one who is on their left, and just they follow other people. What they do, they also imitate it or follow it. Why? Because they were not grown up in a free environment. They would be just pure and mere followers. When these children are grown up, when these children are adult people and they are in the society, they would be the same kind of men. They cannot decide for themselves, they cannot think for themselves, and they cannot do whatever they decide. This is the result of that evil or bad education. What can we do to make our children influence other people and be influenced less? Okay, if our child is always influenced by other people and by other children, how can we lower this quality? The best way is that we should allow this kind of children play and accompany other children, their peers in the society, in the school, in the preschool. In fact, they should be among their peers and their friends who are sound and safe, not just some children who may have different problems because they would be influenced by them. So if they are in this kind of healthy group of children, what happens? They learn how to live, and they would not be just followers and mere followers of other people. They would influence other people, and in future they would be guides and leaders for other people. This is the result of what happens in their childhood. And the fifth feature is that it should increase the rate of their tolerance. A good education is one that increases the rate of tolerance and the amount of tolerance in children. And the sixth one, a good play should make children smart. It should give children a keen mind, because one of the results of a successful education is that a kind of education that makes children smart. If they are smart, they know how to solve their problems. They know how to confront with different difficulties and problems. They know if they confronted with a certain situation, what is the reasonable decision to make? So all of these are examples and instances of smartness. In our next video, we would define smartness and explain how playing can increase the smartness of people, how playing can make a child smart. If you like our videos, then you can subscribe to our channel, Lovely Life, and also leave your comments on this video. Thank you.